Hey bullfrogs, it's time again to talk about summer learning. We've talked about it before, but we can't talk enough about it. You know that you need to keep growing that brain all summer long. We hope that you will be practicing your reading, your writing, and your mathematical thinking each and every day, if not each and every day. Maybe every other day, but as much as possible, we want you to be feeding that brain. So we're here today. I'm here with Miss Chung, and this is Miss Norris, and we're going to talk about those summer reading and writing packets. So now, Miss Chung.
This year, for your summer reading learning, you will have two options to choose from. We will be talking about what these two options are. Now, Mrs. Norris will be talking about option number 1.
So on Friday of this week, you will get all of the handouts that we're going to be sharing with you today. So I'm going to be talking about the read and write with bingo, which you may be familiar with from last year if you were a bullfrog here at Great Seneca last year. That is option 1. It's similar to last year. If you're in grades kindergarten, first or second, your job will be to complete one activity from each column to spell the word read. So you would pick one activity in the R column, one activity in the E, one activity in the A, and one activity in the D. And the activities are your choice. You pick something that will help you grow your brain. If you're in grade 3 through 5, you're going to complete at least 2 activities from each one of the columns. So one thing we'd like you to do before you begin is to really think about yourself as a learner. Think about what you want to challenge yourself to do this summer. Maybe you're just going to work on completing one activity or 2 activities. Maybe you want to give yourself a little bit more challenge because you know you're going to have a little extra time. So set a personal goal for yourself and then think about how you might accomplish that goal. Remember, when you set your goal, you want to make it something that's realistic, that you really can accomplish, but at the same time give you a little challenge. So we made a little spot here for you to begin to set a goal for yourself. And we're going to be talking more about goal setting next year as we talk about personalizing learning. Part of personalized learning is giving you the choice to decide how you want to learn, and that's what we're doing with this read and write bingo sheet, but you have some additional choices. You can choose which books you want to read. You can go to the public library and pick out your books. Maybe you have a personal library of books at home that you want to read from. Maybe you want to read some electronic books on Mayon or Bookflix, or maybe from the online subscription handout, which you will also receive in your packet. On the online subscription handouts, you can access these through the internet using the logins and passwords on this sheet. Maybe you want to study some history and you want to learn about American history, you can read from Freedomflix. Or maybe you want to do an inquiry project on an animal you didn't get a chance to research this summer. You can go on PebbleGo. So use this as another place to get some reading materials this summer. So if I go back to the read and write bingo, the other choices you have are you can complete your activity using technology or you can write on paper. But you do need to make sure you provide evidence that you have completed these activities. You can't just color in an R, an E, an A, and a D and not be able to provide evidence when you come back in September. We want to see what you did to demonstrate your learning. And if you complete your reading and writing and math packet, you will be invited to a celebration in September. You'll notice each one of these has a website, or almost all of them do. You can go on that website to get some reference materials or resources to help you complete the activity or provide you some ideas to get started. If you're proud of a project or task or activity you complete, share it on Edmodo. You might help someone else get a good idea of what they can do to demonstrate their learning. If you need a graphic organizer, go on this website, and that will help you to organize your writing before you complete the activities on the bingo board. We are running a MyOn challenge as well. If you read at least 8 MyOn books over the summer, you'll be entered in a raffle to win some special prizes. And we left some space here for you to copy down your logins and passwords for MyOn, Edmodo, and Destiny, our online catalog. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Chung to talk about option 2.
Now I will be talking about option 2. This is your opportunity to travel around the world, from the Egyptian ruins to the Great Wall of China. You will have the opportunity to read a variety of genres, such as informational or fiction texts. Every time you finish reading the book, you will color in that location. So you will either color it in your reading across the country, the USA map, or the reading across the world map. After that, on the last page, you will be completing a chart. You will be recording down the title of the book, the author, the genre, and you will use the key at the bottom of the chart to write what the genre is, the state or the country that you read about, and then for the last column, how the reading was related to your state or country. And if you look at the examples will help you when you are writing about how the book that you read relates to the state or the country. Also, if you run out of space, feel free to get another piece of paper or on the back of the sheet, writing down more books that you read about the location or the state or the country that you read about.
In other words, be a problem solver. Look for ways to solve the problem, not excuses. Challenge yourself. Think of another way you can make your list.
Also remember, be sure to read books that are just right for you. So for example, if you look at the text level chart, if you are reading on a level K, the Lexile level is 501 to 550. Just remember though that these reading and Lexile levels are just an approximation. When in doubt, use the 5-finger rule. Now, Mrs. Norris is going to demonstrate how you can use Destiny to help you create a list of books that you can read over the summer that are just right for you.
Okay, so you can see here, thank you, Miss Michaela. I borrowed your account today to demonstrate. I went on the online Destiny catalog, which you can also access from home, and you'll receive a sheet that tells you how to log in from home. And I did a search, a keyword search for Egypt. And you'll notice here that I've got several books that I can choose from if I choose to read a book related to Egypt. Now, my book is organized by call number, which means that the number books or the books from nonfiction will be at the top of my list. And then as I scroll down, I can see that it will turn into fiction and everybody books. So let's say I decide that I want to read the Egypt game as one of my choices this summer. Well, you can see here I have the Lexile level right here, so I can look at this and compare it to the chart and see if it might be a just right book for me. Okay. If it looks like it's a little too hard, then give it the 5-finger test. If you're really interested in it, you might be able to read a book that is a little bit higher. Sometimes that 5-finger rule works best for you. But here's where you can find that Lexile level. I also want to show you, if you click on the Details tab, you can get some additional information about the book. You can see that this book has won some other awards. Sometimes you can even get a summary telling you what this particular book is about. Not all of them, but some of them will give you that. Okay, so let me go back to my search results. And let's say I choose The Long Lost Map here, which is a fiction book. I can tell here it says FBAC. It's a Lexile level of 630. I'm going to click on the Details tab. And here, this one you can see does have a little summary telling me how it relates to Egypt. So I can decide, is this going to be an interesting book for me to read? Because we know that's really important. It has to be interesting in order to keep you motivated to want to read it. All right, if you want to learn more about using Destiny, log into Destiny, and on our home page, once you've logged in to Destiny, and there's a little login button here, I'm going to list some additional links that tell you how to create a list on Destiny electronically, or again, you can just write down titles you're interested in reading over the summer. All right, so now let me go back to my flip charts, and moving right along, last but not least, you will receive a login and password sheet with some Edmodo reminders on the back before you leave for summer vacation. The first column tells you how to log into Mayan. You'll need to take some time before you leave school. Teachers, please allow students some time to write in their username on this sheet. And the password, remember, is books with an uppercase B. Edmodo, again, write down your username before you leave. Remember, when you're logging into Edmodo, do not click on I'm a student. That's if you're going to create a new account. You should already have an account if you're in grade 2, 3, 4, or 5, and I know some first graders do as well. The password for kindergarten through 3rd grade is books with an uppercase B. If you are a 4th or 5th grader, you'll need to write your Edmodo password in here, which should be your student login. Okay, the Destiny Online Library Catalog login, again, it tells you the website underneath each one of these, tells you what you need to do in order to log in. You'll need to write your username down. If you're in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, books is your password. Grades 3 to 5, it should be your individual student password. So make sure you write those down before you leave for the summer. This tells your parents if you're having trouble with login. We advise you to first do some troubleshooting and problem solving on your own. Make sure you're using that uppercase B in books and that you're typing in your username correctly. If you're still having trouble, you can email me over the summer, but I'm only going to be checking my email periodically, so you might not get a response back for a while. So try to problem solve on your own. On the back, we have some Edmodo reminders because we do want you to keep practicing with your writing over the summer. Remember our Edmodo Code of Conduct. We're using Edmodo for educational purposes. Okay, we're not using it as Facebook to say hello to our friends. We're making sure that we're being respectful. We're posting about books that we're reading or school-related information. Remember to use appropriate grammar instead of texting language because we're practicing our best writing. Make sure that you use that you don't post personal information on Edmodo, including telephone numbers, addresses, and emails. And please do not post photos or videos showing yourself or your classmates without permission. One last thing, as you're working on your profile over the summer, please check to make sure that you're using one of the avatars that Edmodo suggests. If you use something outside of Edmodo, you really need to have permission to use it. So if you take a image off of Google, you really need to ask the person who created that image if you can borrow it for your Edmodo profile. Please make sure you follow that procedure. Okay, so you can read through this to review. And the last thing is, please make sure you've joined all the Edmodo groups that you want to participate in over the summer. You'll get it on the back of the Edmodo reminders. Teachers, you may want to point that out to students. Mr. Curry is going to be running the principal's pipeline to help you learn more about